back. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has criticized the 15.6 trillion Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project and the 21 billion naira spent on new residence for Vice President Kashim Shettima, describing both as wasteful and corrupt. These remarks were made in his newly released book Nigeria, Past and Future, unveiled on his 88th birthday. Obasanjo accused the Tinubu administration of prioritizing personal and political gains over national development, stating that leadership in Nigeria has largely been driven by self-interest and corruption. He highlighted instances of leaders using public funds to enrich themselves, calling the current system a transactional one where governance is seen as an opportunity for personal enrichment. The Lagos-Calabar project, awarded without competitive bidding to high-tech construction company, has faced criticism from opposition figures including Atiku Abubakar over transparency concerns. Obasanjo also questioned the economic rationale behind spending billions on vice presidential residence amid widespread economic hardship. Calling for reforms, Obasanjo suggested that Nigeria reconsider its adoption of Western liberal democracy and develop a governance model that aligns with African history, culture, which he termed Afro-democracy. I have with me, joining me via Zoom, Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid, journalist, Barrister Law and Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning. You probably want to task me again. Into the music.
Exactly. Yes, please.
Anyway, I am the para-media as it is today.
Yes, of course. You have done so much talking on the case regarding Nigeria that you are good enough a journalist, obviously. Thank you so very much for your time. We truly do appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and also in the studios we have Innocent Aduloba, journalist, public affairs analyst. Thank you so very much, Innocent.
Thank you, Harry. You were about to transfer my title.
Yes, exactly. Well, so let me start with you, Barrister. You can hear the talk from Olusegun Obasanjo, someone I want to believe we all respect. He's been there as a military administrator and also civilian leader. So he understands governance. He understands Nigeria better than most people do today. But speak to me on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Do you think his statement and submission is what we should take and lay down comfortably?
Yeah, I think I will not dwell on the messenger. I will dwell on the message.
Okay.
Because if I want to talk about the messenger, I would say that he did not do any better when it comes to this kind of a thing while he was in president. Even though it's debatable, people have been saying that whether he remained one of the best civilian president that we have. That's not to say that he did over 50% performance. I'm not going to give him that. But let's talk about what he said. I will not say the Lagos-Calabar project is a waste of money. I would rather agree and say it's a misplaced priority. And it's a misplaced priority, and it was done without due accountability and transparency. Just like he said, there was no transparency in the award of that contract. In fact, when the budget was presented for that particular project, they did not tell the National Assembly that the project will be funded by the government to an extent. They said it's going to be a private funded project, and they budgeted 500 million or so. For 500 million now, it becomes 16 trillion or 17 trillion. I can't remember how many trillion they say they will use. And they've dropped 1.something trillion as a counterpart funding or support to start with from the government, which I see as a lack of transparency and proper accountability. It's not as if we don't need a coastal road. But looking at what we have today in Nigeria, I see it as not our priority for now, because we have been told that 15 trillion or 16 trillion will repair all the roads in the entire country and will make them motorable and make them durable. But that same amount is what we are going to use on one project, which I believe in the last 8 years of this governor, let's assume that they are going to even use 8 years, they will not even complete it, and they will not even go far in the project. This project was awarded to ITEC without a competitive bidding, without due process as regarded by law, and there are a lot of allegations that that was done because the company that was awarded the contract is linked directly or indirectly to the president, even though it's been denied. No, we talk about paper these days. We talk about the technicalities. We say give us paper where it is shown that is one of the shareholder or directors. You may not have your name on the paper, but people know what they know. So for me, I will not say it's a misplaced priority. It's a waste of money. I would rather say it's a misplaced priority, and we don't need it now. And I think, like they said, it's an avenue for people to make money. It's an avenue to play politics. In other words, rather than repair all the road already on ground, they want to have what they call legacy projects. So that when they are no longer in government, they will say this project was done by so person, and that is the essence of that project as far as I'm concerned. It's not what we need for now. Because there are a lot of things that is not okay that we need money to do. In fact, the road in the entire country have been abandoned because they say there's no money to fund them. Yet we are putting the money on one particular project. Yeah, for me, I agree with him that is a mistake priority, and it's not that, and there's not enough transparency and accountability regarding the award of the contract.
All right, thank you so very much. Innocent Aduluba. Barrister said that the Lagos-Calabar Highway is a misplaced priority. It's often a misplaced priority when we don't see the long-term dream. In 1980, when President Shehu Shagari started the Third Mainland Bridge, 11.1 kilometer road, which of course is one, as at the time, was one of the most expensive bridge to be built at that time. I want to believe those who were there, pundits and analysts, will say it is a misplaced priority. Many years now, Nigerians are enjoying the Third Mainland Bridge. So don't you think this is similar to what was done in 1980 by Shagari, but of course made possible by Bola Ahmed Tinubu today?
The similarity is not in doubt. It is the validity of the process in contract awards from Barrister Tunjiwe here, and then from the reports that it was not given to open bidding. That is the contesting issue. Every state, Nigeria has nearly 10 states on the coasts. If you go from Lagos, after Ekpe you are in Ogun, then those their water side area, you are in Ondo, in the Okiti-Kpukpa, Igbo-Koda axis, then you are in Edo. From all those Gelegele through the Benin River, you are in Delta, Bomadi, Fokados, Burutu, you are in Warri, you are in Bayelsa, you are in Rivers, you are in Akwa Ibom, all the stretch from Eket to Oron, you are in Cross River from Calabar, the big core beach, and then you are headed towards Abana, the contested peninsula of Bakassi, into Cameroon, where you go into the area of Boya, their coastal largest city. Yes. So if within each state the roads are okay, you don't need one government to come and start a road from Lagos across all these states I've mentioned.
Yeah, but
all you would have needed were, like he said, across the country. What roads are needing rehabilitation? You have the neck link. Don't forget there is a road on the ground that goes with, off your mic, the east-west road, which is approximately a large chunk of percentage on this route, with monies already allocated and uncompleted, and nobody is discussing that. We want to layer a new road of 15.6 trillion, and like Barrister says, if you lay out Nigeria's urgent needs according to priority at this time, that road will not come to.
Innocent, you see, if every leader would consider priority, especially as against legacy projects like this one, I want to believe that major cities across the world will not see such humongous buildings that people come to admire. I made an example of the Third Mainland Bridge. As at the time in 1980, There were other routes that people could, of course, take. It was comfortable at the time. But Shehu Shagari made that project because he noted the future importance of the Third Mainland Bridge. Today, people, of course, still enjoy that project. The question is, don't you think it's equally false in the same pattern like this one?
It is approximately the same.
Yes.
But I'm aligned with Barrister with regards to the amount being awarded for it, the process of the contract awarding, and the urgencies on ground. Don't forget, the President Olusegun Obasanjo also criticized the 21 billion naira.
Yes, that is on one side. We'll actually get to that one, but let's try to finish the road thing.
I must add that quickly, that the level of transportation advancement in the country underlines the level of development in that country.
Okay.
While we talk about East-West Road, Lagos-Calabar Road, since independence, there is no single route of a rail track from Lagos in that direction. Who is discussing that, for God's sake? And if you look at Nigeria now, talking food security, cargo airports and the rest, these are haulages that can be on train, you can transport on train trucks. You know, I've not, in this age and time I'm in now, over 4 decades, I've not seen a rail heading from Lagos towards Ijebu, towards Benin, in that direction. So why don't we also diversify? You know, so I'm sure the barrister Abatunji he hasn't mentioned rail, but we have alternatives, or like he put it, fixed all the existing roads. Then what's legacy? Everybody will be remembered by what they have done.
Very true. Barrister, I'd love to maybe give an example here. At least I was there in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State when Godswill Akpabio was the governor of the state. Godswill Akpabio changed the face of Akwa Ibom, so much so that the people said, why is he building magnificent buildings and facilities when people are not there to use it? Sometimes you see a car go past a particular road he has built, and the next time you see a car go through again is the next 30 minutes. Now, today, Akwa Ibom is one of the most beautiful states in Nigeria. Now, which is most important? Is it for a leader to have that gusto to say, yes, let me just do this for the future, or maybe let me work like the former Cross River State Governor Ben Ayadi, who was busy doing building people rather than building facilities. And today there are no people to even say that they have been built enough by Ben Ayadi.
Henry, why I cherish your position and I appreciate it. I want to say, look, what you are saying is likened to a situation whereby Mr. Henry, a millionaire or a multimillionaire, has an abandoned house in Magodo that on the Linton level. He has about 3 or 4 at Lekki. He has abandoned, not completed. He has some in Adekunle, so many like that. And he's complaining that he's broke, that he's borrowing money to even feed, to even survive. And yet, he said, now that this money, let me go and borrow money again and start building a stadium for myself. Is that stadium? Yes, in the future it will be useful. Or let us not say stadium. He wants to start building which one again? That is not even up to that can be owned by individual. Or he wants to build he wants to have his own personal airport, and they start building that, and then he's not able to eat. His children are not eating. All the other houses that are abandoned are there. They are rotting away. People are using the house are collapsing, and you say if you look at the future, that airport will be something else in the future. It's not the way to go. It's not like what the president is saying, that is building the future for the children on board. Those that have been born, have they survived? Let those who have been born survive first. When those who are available are not surviving, why are you that? How would the newborn baby come? So for me, people are dying on the roads that we have today. People are spending hours, useful hours on the road that we have today, and the government is complaining there is no money to do it. And the only money they are able to even gather or borrow they want to divert it to one particular project that they may not even complete in the next 20 years. What is the usefulness of that one? If you ensure that all the existing roads are motorable, and then you cannot be thinking of doing a one for the future. It's like somebody has not eaten today, and he says he's saving money for what he will eat next tomorrow, and he has not eaten today. Or somebody that has not even eaten today. He said he has not paid his student school fees. He has not paid his house rent, and he said, "You see, this money that I have, I want to save it for the future. I don't know what will happen in the future." To me, it doesn't make sense. To people who are investors or who are motivational speakers, it could be reasonable to them. To me, it's not reasonable. I've not by all my responsibilities. My children are not eating. They're not going to school. And I'm able to meet future needs. Am I making sense? In that for me, you are not making sense. So for me, I'm not saying we don't need coastal road. I'm not saying that road will not be beneficial to us. But what I'm saying is that look, the economy, that's what they call little economy that we did when we were in secondary school. That's what they call scale of preference. If you lay down the scale of preference today, without and you say Nigerians come and pick, you think Nigerians will go and pick a coastal road from our need today? Say between the existing road and coastal road, Nigeria come and pick one. Which one should we do? You think Nigeria will support coastal road? Nigeria will tell you complete the one on ground and let's go. If you abandon those ones, and I tell you, I'm not a prayer of doom. That Calabar coastal road or whatever will soon be abandoned. When Baba Buhari, the former president, was in power, so much talk about railway that they are doing so much in terms of railway. Today, are you here? Are you seeing them? Are they on? Are they projects still on? Have they completed the one they said they were doing when they were there? And we borrow a lot of money in that regard. Where are the projects today? Where are the rail lines today? How many of them are functioning? So that is the point I'm making. I can bet you to Henry, may God spare our life. You will see that after 4 or 8 years of this government, that coastal road will be abandoned. And that will be there for years. Don't tell me that you spoke about. It took how many years for them to complete it? It took years. Years for them to do it. And so by that time, we cannot even compare our economy and the situation with now. At that time, we're not so much indebted the way we are today. We are not complaining about we don't have money. In fact, at that time we are saying we have so much money we don't know where to spend it. So you can't compare the situation. They are not the same. But I remember, yes, one of them, those in government then, they said it, that Nigeria has so much money. How to spend it is not the problem. Today, are we not borrowing? Do we have money? We don't have money. So you can't just say because it happened in the early 80s and they did it and today we're enjoying it, we should follow the same track. To me, they are not the same. They are not in the same category. Circumstances are not the same. They differ widely. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a misplaced priority. I repeat again.
Very, very well. Thank you so very much. I think it's beginning to make sense now. And, scale of preference, opportunity cost, those are the very important things when you talk about, prioritizing items when you want them. But let's speak to the character of the man, our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his desires and his what he desires for the country. He has always said that he holds Nigeria in high esteem. But do you think his character and his modus of doing things isn't sympathical to his desire? Or is he just dreaming, Walt Disney dream of hoping Nigeria will be like America, but only remaining in the figment of his imagination?
Well, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a statesman, is a patriot, is a Democrat, and a builder of men, two-time governor of Lagos, two-term governor of Lagos, a former senator. He is also a pro-Democrat. I would say he was at the prime of his youth in the Nadeco days. But again, by Atunja has told you, times past are not the same as today. Just like every president of this country, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot speak differently. It is natural, it is expected for anybody sitting on that seat to say they hold Nigeria in high esteem. Another thing is walking the talk, and that's the stretch of integrity. Walking the talk. Nigerians love the government. That's what I've seen all my life. However Nigerians are treated, they love their government. All they ask is for the government to convince them with tangible pragmatics. So if the government say they love the masses, let the masses see and feel this love. And one of that is just carrying out the primary purpose of government, which is the implementation of the people's program. The people need hospitals, give it to them. The people need good roads to travel safe, give it to them. People need agro-processing, so if you harvest your tomato and pepper, it doesn't go bad that day if you don't sell. Create the enablement. Economy is hard. Give free education. By that time, you don't need to tell anybody you love them. You don't need to say it is the people that will be singing your praise from what they are experiencing directly. I don't need to go far, but I know people who have left this country, who were received at the airport and told, at the time they arrived, they will stay in, let me use the word, a tent. We will be back in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, these people came, called your name, and read your time of arrival, and said, your time is up, move into this apartment. You don't need to know anybody in government. And at the end of the month, they say, you came in just 2 weeks ago. This money is for you. You were in so. They were giving you your history. And by the end of the full month, this will now be your. And when I was being told, people I saw off to the airport, I was like, here you will need to. And those people who are Nigerians in the diaspora have been singing the praises of that government, Henry. Yes. The government never came to them to say, we love you, we will do this. No, there were no promises. There were actions. And that's where former President Olusegun Obasanjo says, perhaps, rather than prioritize the masses and the interests of the people, this government, in the words of President Obasanjo, are running a transaction government.
I think it's so profound what you are saying here. But let me get back to you, Barrister. Speaking on the submission by President Olusegun Obasanjo on this particular issue. You know, it's always very easy for leaders when they go out of office to begin to see little short gaps and the little inadequacies of the next government in power. But let's not forget, Barrister, during President Olusegun Obasanjo's era, 11 trillion naira. I do not know the forex exchange rate as at that time. I think it should be between
less than 100
naira. As at that time, yes, exactly. As at that time, according to Punch newspaper, which I have the data here, at least 11 trillion naira meant for the provision of adequate electricity for Nigeria was squandered under ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo. How come the president now is questioning 15 trillion naira on Lagos-Calabar Highway when he squandered 11 trillion naira, which if we compare it as with exchange rate now, 11 trillion naira should be upward of 30 trillion. So speak to me.
Henry, you know I said earlier on that I don't want to look at the messenger. I want to look at the message. And this what has been our problem in this country is that when somebody gives suggestions or make a criticism, rather than look at what he say or make and try to adjust or even see whether or not it was making sense, they will ignore it and start looking at the person who made the statements. That will not make us progress. Given President Olusegun Obasanjo, like I said, he is not a perfect man. He wasn't a perfect man. He didn't do. In fact, if given opportunity today, he may still do the same thing he did that wrongly while he was in power. You see, when you're in power or in position of authority, there are what they call veil that covers your face. Your face has been covered. Some things you will not see.
By what? By what?
By veil.
What is that veil exactly? Is it?
When you come into power, particularly as the president of the country, there are little things you can do. In fact, to even move to one place to another, sometimes they have to direct you. You cannot say I want to stay here for 1 hour or 2 hours. They can tell you, President, you have to move, and you must move. So there are things you will not even see, you not even know. You can't say, look, I have a program now. I don't want to go for that program. I want to watch Arsenal, Man City. You can't do it. So there are things you will not be able to do. So what I'm saying is that I'm not saying the President Obasanjo is a saint or he has done far better than these people. But what I'm saying is that when you are in government, it's not the same thing as when you are outside government. When you are outside government, you see what you will not see when you are inside the government. Yesterday, if you listen to what the brokers, usual brokers of our FCT minister, whenever he wants to, whenever he wants to address
Nigerians.
No, not Nigerians. He's addressing the press.
Yes.
Not me. Whenever he wants to address the press. So yesterday he did a similar one, and he said he was saying the mistake he made while in government, which he cannot correct. So when you are there, that confirms that part. Look, when you are there are certain things you don't know. That when you are now outside, you'll be okay. So if I know this one will be like this, that's the point. Truly speaking, like I said, if they are giving another opportunity, the President Obasanjo that we're talking about may even do worse than what they are doing now. But the point is that the point he raised, are they germane? Are they correct? That's what we should be looking at. It's not whether or not while he was in government, similar thing happened. So we'll be following the similar thing that happened then. Are we trying to progress or regress? So if you want to progress, then let's continue to look at what somebody has not done well. Somebody has not done something well, and he's raising a point here. Let's look at the point he has raised, and let's give it a thought and see whether or not it's making sense. So rather than say because he spent 16 trillion naira or 16 whatever naira and there's no light, therefore if you spend 30 trillion naira and there's no light, we are justified. Is that what we are talking about? No, I think for me the point he made is about whether or not that project is necessary for now. And I said I agree that I will not say it's a waste. I will not say it's a waste because if it's completed, it will be useful to us maybe in the future. But I'm saying looking at our circumstance today, where we are today as we are speaking, that is not a priority for me. It may be a priority for Henry, it may be a priority for another person. But if there is a referendum now, and Nigerians are asked to make a decision as regards whether to do a coastal road or to do what's it called, to repair all the existing roads in the country, I tell you, most Nigerians will say, let's do it. In fact, not even talk about road. Other thing, they will say that let's forget this coastal road first. Let's face it. You see, if by the Lagos-Ibadan express road and the Lagos-Ilorin express or whatever, there's a particular portion that is not even up to 1 kilometer. It's been there for over how many years now? Before the coming of Minister Fashola, that project that area has been there. What is it? They have a what do you call it? They have a mountain somewhere there, and they need to do create space there. That has been an issue for them. Till date, it's still abandoned. It's there. They're not able to do it, and they are complaining there's no money to do that. It's been abandoned. If they tell you your boss or agriculture that has been completed, it's a lie. I applied there almost all the time. So many kilometers have not been done on those roads. So many kilometers are dead trap. So they're out there. They like the same thing Benin or other area that will be hearing complaint. If you go up north, southeast or southwest or whatever, so many of the roads there like that. Why are we now investing our money in a project that will not even be completed in the next 30 years? When we have one that can even give us succor, let's block this one first, and let's believe that we're not comfortable here. Then we cannot be thinking of how to go with that one. That's my point. So I will not look at Obasanjo spent 11 trillion or he did this and that and he don't do it. Yes, now he has realized it. Probably is regretting it. He will not tell you. Probably if given a chance, he will not do the same thing. Probably if given a chance, he will do the same thing, or he won't do worse. So for me, I will not look at the President Obasanjo as a person. I will rather look at his comment and message and see whether or not it's sensible. And that what the problem we are having in this country today is that most people in government, once issue are raised, rather than address the issue, they want to digress by talking about the person who raised the issue. And Nigerians will follow. We will abandon the main issue and start attacking the person who brought the message. So So for me, I will not join them in that bandwagon. And I want to say, I still agree and I accept that project, I still maintain that Calabar road or whatever road they call it, coastal road, is a misplaced priority for now, based on circumstances that we are. Tomorrow or next year or whatever, if the circumstances are not the same, I can change my position. It's not static. I'm saying based on what is on ground today, that is not a priority for me.
All right, different strokes for different folks. I would love to believe if we had one of the media handlers of the present day government right here with us as a guest, he would of course have more than enough reason to justify the 15 trillion naira for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. If Bayo Onanuga was here, I would love to believe that's one thing he would love to do so perfectly well, just to prove that the intention of the government is genuine, and that would benefit Nigerians in the long run. I think I'd love to leave it here. I have lots of
yes, that would be fair that those government are having. When Donald and Co, they will speak based on what the president wants to hear. If the president is not interested in that coastal road tomorrow, I intervene, he will tell you something else. If the president is interested in it, he will tell you something else. He will justify it why we must have it. If the president says no longer say we don't need it again, he will also justify it why we don't need it. That's what they have, and those are the phrases I'm talking about. They speak based on what the president is interested in. They don't have their own mind. The mind of the president is their mind. That's the truth. And that's what you see. When you say you talk about the SA or PA to the government or whatever, they are not saying their mind. They are saying the mind of those they follow as leader.
Well, I agree with you because briefly President Obasanjo also mentioned, like I've been telling you, we don't need to embrace that global democracy wholesale. We need to cascade it down to what pattern fits into our culture and then run along with it. And that's what he's telling us now. As soon as you have an aide, they just sing your praises while they're in office.
Well, I just sincerely hope that someday in the future we would have young leaders who truly would walk in this pattern, because the truth remains that I would love to believe even after the time of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the next government comes in place, he would equally have something to say against them, which of course he had failed. Now the question is, how can we get it right permanently so we can have people who would lead by example and have a successful transition of one good government over another? Because all this has haphazard way of doing things is really not working for us. From 1960 up until today, we still do not desire to get it right. I do not know when eventually we will have that done. Thank you so very much, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, for being here. We truly do appreciate you once more.
Thank you for having me. It's my privilege.
Thank you. Innocent Aduluwa, thank you as always.
Pleasure.
All right. People, that's just about the time we have. I'd love to say thank you to you for being part of our show today. I love to believe you enjoyed it, but you can take up on us. You can equally rewatch this on our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Equally go and read up on some of these things at enterprisetvnews.com. My name is Henry Gwibike. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.